Oh, hello. Hi, everybody, and welcome. This is the Apostate Prophet. Hope everybody's having a fantastic little day.
Back finally.
Finally.
When's the last time you did a live stream?
I think it was like 2 weeks ago or something.
Dang, hang on. I'm gonna look, man.
I'm gonna look.
I'm gonna find out.
I'm gonna look right here at the same time. Let's see. Last time I was live was 2 weeks ago. 14 days ago.
When's the last time you went 2 weeks without live streaming, man?
That was a long time ago.
People aren't even going to remember. People aren't even going to remember your live streams from so long ago. They'll be like, "Who's this new guy live streaming?"
Wait a minute. What? The last live stream was? Oh, okay. No. Yes. That was September 6th. What the hell? That's messed up.
We're talking about ignorant Muslim philosopher leaves debate in frustration. Paul Williams? That seems like it was 6 months ago that we talked about Paul Williams rage quitting.
It probably was. Anyway, but here I am. I'm back, man.
Like bell-bottom jeans, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes.
Like platform shoes. He's back.
How's everybody doing?
Guess who's
Is this a rerun? Says Miss Vicky. Yes, it is completely. It's totally a rerun. Yeah.
Yep. It's a rerun from the future. We went to the future and then we brought this back and played it.
Missed you, AP. Merci too. Thank you. Welcome back, AP. Said Sarah. Thank you, Sarah. Appreciate that. AP Shofar is beast. AP, why are you wearing a weird coat? It's not a coat, man. It's just a shirt.
It's just a hip shirt, man. It's just a hip shirt.
I don't know why I'm doing that. This isn't live. This is a Mossad psyop. You see, yeah, I'm actually traveling right now to do something for my Mossad handlers, and they did a fake live stream. So this is what you're watching right now.
It's pretty easy now with all the technology. Everything's like AI generated.
Yeah. Inspiring Minecraft says, "Wait a minute, who's the new guy streaming?" Inspiring Minecraft.
Dude, want to be creepy as fast as AI is advancing, that like a couple years from now or something, or maybe even like next year, they'll just be able to program in everything we've ever said about any instance and then just make live streams about the latest topic, and it'll look like we're here talking and it won't be us. We'll just be chilling somewhere.
Yes. A very likely thing that it's actually going to happen is actually AI clones of real people based on all the things that they said and all their information, and then you can just talk to an AI version of a certain person. For example, that might very well happen. It's actually foreseeable that that people miss a dead loved one, so they import the dead person and all their personality and all their history and everything into an AI robot, so that they can continue talking to that beloved dead person, but as an AI. So,
and they're also advancing robots, so they'll make a robot that looks like your lost loved one.
Yeah,
and then it'll be full Stepford Wives situation.
Alhamdulillah. Ayatollah Khamenei says, "Wow, AP, nice bowling shirt." Mike Winger said he really likes it. He stopped making fun of Mike Winger. Officer Tatum debated Dave Smith and Israel on Pierce. Please go on Tatum's show. I actually, so I don't know much about Brandon Tatum, but I actually connected with him at the event in Florida, the Turning Point USA event. The thing is, I completely forgot who connected us and how I connected with him. So, yeah, that happened. I know lots of people are, for some reason, right now telling me to please talk to Brandon Tatum, and I have no idea why.
They've been telling me that as well. They're saying he's interested in educating people on Islam, or he wants to learn more about Islam or something like that. So I got some of those messages. But yeah, you should definitely join him for a show. He is standing his ground against everyone who's blasting away at him right now. So be good for him.
I would love to. That's an honorable thing to do, a noble thing to do.
Well, send him a message, man. What the heck?
And I would love to do that. Yeah. If anybody wants to connect to me or something, I would love to. Wait a minute.
On Twitter.
What's his name? Brandon Tatum.
Yeah, he was a cop. He was a cop, so
his
me and him
messages are
didn't
not
go on.
open.
Hmm?
His messages are not open. You can't message him. There you go. Huh. In your face. It's not my fault. How was Poland, says Oleg Shaleva. Poland was amazing. Poland was amazing.
Did you use any of the? I told AP to go into like a bar and record him telling Polak jokes and have them see if they're funny. Like, do they laugh or do they get annoyed? I don't know. I think they'd laugh. I think they think it's. I assume they would think Polak jokes are hilarious. But you didn't even do it, did you?
That's what you think. They'll probably be like, "Get out of here, man."
Hey, I even started sending jokes, but then he wouldn't even use them. Remember the Polak joke I sent? I said, how do you sink a Polish battleship? Put it in water.
How's it even funny, man? Yeah, so I went to Poland. It was fantastic. I loved it. I've always wanted to go to Poland. Did eventually go to Warsaw, and the plan was actually to go there and to while I am in Poland, also to travel to Krakow and go to Auschwitz and all that. But then I always overestimate the time that I have in places or underestimate the amount of time that things take. So when I was there, I figured this is way too much stuff to do. I can't do that right now. So I had to ditch the Auschwitz plan. But I did spend quite some time in Poland.
You had one job.
And hung out with the Visegrad guys, with Stefan and his friends, and recorded videos together in front of the statue of Jan III Sobieski, who was the hero who defeated the Turks and kicked them out.
Anyone who defeats the Turks is a hero and a legend.
Yes. And it was kind of nice walking around in Poland because, before that I was in London. So I had just come from London to Warsaw.
You should have worn a shirt that says I'm a Turk, and they would all beat the crap out of you.
I should have.
That's what they do.
The thing is, it's like the contrast is just so huge between London and Warsaw. It's like in London, you walk around and it's the whole thing is demographically messed up and changed and overrun, and it's Muslims everywhere and different groups of people everywhere. Not much to see of the native population, and then you go to Warsaw and things are completely different. It's like it's just Poles everywhere, and there is social trust. There are no high crime rates. There is no disorder. There is no trash everywhere. I don't know. I'm starting to sound kind of racist here, but it was very, very nice,
A country full of Polacks is just bound to be great in every possible way. You heard it here, folks, from AP, the perfect Turkish judge of character and civilizations.
It was very, very nice. Very, very nice. And I did think, to be fair, I don't like to sound, I don't like to talk much about demographics and race colors, but I did think in order for a Western city to stay stable, it should probably consist of at least 80% of the native population and should never go below that. So if white British people established a certain city historically, it should probably stay at least 80% white British and not go lower, or maybe different Europeans, but not go lower than that. It's just I don't see how you can see in Paris, you can see in London the decline. You have a population that actually built something fantastic, built a fantastic city. And you have people from all over the world, from lesser places, come and want to live there because the city is amazing. And then somehow you think it's a great idea to, all right, let's get rid of the local population that built all this and replace them with this other population that comes from crap places. Let's see how that works out. And isn't it a stupid idea?
So AP, we heard it here, folks. AP went to Poland for a couple of days and came back the most racist person I've ever been live with, and he's spouting complete nonsense. He's saying 80% for a city to remain or continue, it needs to be 80% a native population. Are you telling me that if 80% Chinese people moved to a city in Pakistan, it would be worse?
That's a good point.
Didn't think so.
That's a good point. Well, it would definitely be worse from the perspective of Islamist Pakistanis, you know.
Yeah, because the Chinese people wouldn't be banging goats and stuff, and they'd be like, "What is
Exactly.
this? This makes no sense."
Exactly. See? Huh. Yeah. All right, man. All right. Never change, AP. Never change. It's why we are fans. Thank you, Ash. Thank you, Ash. I know you sent me a message. I need to get back to you. We need to do some live stuff together. Steph S became a YouTube member. Thank you very, very much for joining the club. I have been a little bit passive and a little bit messed up and a little bit unwilling to go live, also because of the whole thing. But it's not just me, so I don't want to talk about it very much. But the whole Charlie Kirk thing.
I went live like 10 times, man.
After that happened, I didn't really. I haven't really been in a. I don't know. It kind of. It hit me in a strange way. There are lots of people who are much closer to Charlie Kirk than I ever was, and so I can't put myself in a special position there. But for some reason, it just I have been in a really, really messed up mood since that happened, and have been less wanting or less willing to go live and talk about it. But I also did want to go live and talk about some of the things that people say, and today is one of those days that I want to go live and talk to some of the accusations and allegations and nonsensical theories that people spread about Charlie Kirk and all that. So yeah, that's what we want to do today. That's what we want to do today, man. That's what we want to do today. It's hitting us all. It is. Let's say AP was in Germany earlier this year. This is true. So it might have to do with Germany. Am I the only one who sees AP's chair shaking? No, you're not the only one, because I'm shaking my leg the whole time. That's how I cope with things. AP has gone full Dominic, and that was a fantastic. That meeting that guy was awesome.
Who the heck is Dominic? What?
The Polish politician, man.
Oh,
the Polish politician Dominic.
Oh, is that?
Tarczynski.
Wait, was that the video with Visegrad? Because I didn't see it.
Yeah.
I just saw that it existed.
It's fantastic talking to him, and people usually know him for one clip, which is the one that I'm going to put on the screen right now because it's just so beautiful. People usually know him because of this.
How many refugees has Poland taken?
0.
And you're proud of that?
If you're asking me about Muslims illegal immigration, none, not even one will come to Poland. Not even one if it's illegal. We took over 2 million Ukrainians who are working, who are peaceful in Poland. We will not receive even one Muslim because this is what we promised.
But I asked not about illegal immigrants. I asked about refugees. And Jean-Claude Juncker, the Commission president, says that you're racist. You sound proud of the fact that you haven't taken any refugees.
Of course, because this is what our people are expecting from our government. That's number one. This is why our government was elected. But this is why Poland is so safe. This is the reason why we had not even one terrorist attack. Look at the streets in Poland. And we can be called populists, nationalists, racists. I don't care. I care about my family and about my country.
Wow. I care about my family and my country, not about what you call me. Why can't there be a bunch more politicians like that?
Yeah. But he's known as Mr. Zero because of that.
How many refugees?
Mr. Zero. Sounds like a cool villain.
Zero.
Mr. Zero.
So I met up with him and with Stefan, and we recorded stuff together. That was very, 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 very nice.
Has Kathy Newman ever been in an interview where she didn't sound like a complete idiot?
No.
Because the only other thing I saw from her was no, I saw two things. I saw her Jordan Peterson interview, which made her go absolutely viral because she looked like a complete moron. And then I saw one of her trying to do the who's that guy, Psy, that Gangnam Style dance. And I saw her doing the Gangnam Style dance. And it was the worst thing I've ever seen in my life.
I don't even want to imagine that now. Why did you bring this up? That sounds like the worst thing that could happen. So yeah, I met
I
up
went
with them.
to my hotel.
Wait, so
room.
these guys are both Polish?
Yeah.
Society. We are here in this beautiful Sloane Square, beautiful place. I would say a heart of London, and you can see beautiful.
That's green screen.
tables. It's a beautiful, very early afternoon. People.
What?
Said, you know, that's green screen. You guys
this
are in a studio with some beautiful place behind you with a fountain. Come on.
That's true. This was actually green screen. We were actually sitting in Poland in a studio, so this is the background here is completely fake. Yeah. But anyway, so that was pretty based, pretty base guy.
How's that video doing, by the way?
It has 105,000 views.
Pretty good, pretty good. Again, it was just Visegrad is still sort of building momentum on YouTube. They've been huge on Twitter. They've been building up on YouTube, but they are getting some serious, solid views now. They're going to blow up. You want these guys to blow up, everyone. So watch their stuff and share their stuff.
I just texted Stefan earlier and said, hey, look, I have this tool that shows me how much the channel is growing. Look at this. I told him views gained in the last 7 days, 3 million. 50% higher than usual. You have their recent videos. Look at it shows me how much more often each video is watched than the average video that they have published. Look at this: 53 times more, 14 times more, 3 times more, 100 times more. This has 1.4 million views now, man.
Dang.
1.4 million views.
People are soon going to hear about a guy named the Apostate Prophet. Only be a few more years. Then people will know who you are.
1.4
1.4 million. 24 hours in East London's Muslim area. There's no way you spent 24 hours in East London's Muslim area. You would have got the crap beat out of you like 19 times.
Almost 24 hours. I really like Visegrad, so I would recommend everyone to go and subscribe to them. This is like they have become friends now. I've seen them way too often. This is what Stefan was telling me last time. Like I see you more than anybody else. So I don't know what's happening. But I like working with these guys. I think they're fantastic. They're super based, and I'll probably work in the future again. I will also work together with them in Israel again. So in Israel in a month, I'm meeting up with them one more time. So they are Polish guys, and they are doing a fantastic job.
So we can assume that on Visegrad's channel next month is going to be some more dope stuff with the Apostate Prophet getting 1.4 million views. No, 2.9 million views.
Inshallah. So, hey, David, have you heard of Milk Bar?
No, who's he? No, Milk Bar. Milk Bar's the guy you don't want to get after you if you're a liar and you're inconsistent and you keep changing your story and keep changing what you say, because
You're a liar.
that dude will put all the clips together of you changing what you're saying and expose you as a lying hypocrite. We saw that with Andrew Tate over and over and over again, to the point where Andrew Tate is suing him.
Based. So,
Wonder where Milk Bar came from, though. Like the name Milk Bar. That
Milk
means something.
Bar?
That means something in Australia.
I don't know.
Be like a bar where people drink milk at, or something like that. Doesn't make
It
any
reminds
sense.
me of A Clockwork Orange. I don't know if it has anything to do with it. But Milk Bar, Nathan Livingstone, has a fantastic Twitter page and also YouTube channel where he puts some investigative stuff together. And he just put together a video going through claims made by certain people like Candace Owens, Ian Carrot, and others, and then combined it with an interview which just came out, which I would recommend everyone to watch, which I will watch as well, which is on Alex Clark's channel. So Alex Clark is a quite influential Turning Point USA member and has been for the longest time. And she sat together with one of Charlie Kirk's best friends, Andrew Colvich, who is also executive producer of the Charlie Kirk show to ask him some questions about Charlie Kirk and also address certain things that people have recently claimed about Charlie Kirk. And he sat down to give proper answers.
Hang on. So I have not seen this. I have not seen this, but I saw this was like last week, wasn't it? When I think she tweeted that she'd be interviewing people to respond to, and it was just a list of all of the things that everyone had heard from Candace Owens.
Mm-hmm.
It was like that there's $150 million to expose Tucker Carlson bounty, and there's this and there's that. So they actually, but she said we'll be covering that in interviews, like plural, like it's going to be an ongoing thing going through them. So what'd they cover? What'd they cover here, man? What'd they cover?
They cover lots of stuff.
Lots of stuff.
Billy said, your title says Ian Carrot. Yeah, so. Thank you. Yeah, it's Ian Carrot. Hang on. Ayatollah Khamenei AP was late to the rapture. This is true. Jingoistic Pig said Josh Hammer has been going on shows talking about Charlie and disputing the woke right, lying about his friend. Should send a DM and get him on a stream. I should. He actually interviewed me before the first event happened with Turning Point USA. I should interview him as well. I should have him on here.
If I had him on a stream with me at any point, I think people would be making Hammer jokes, and that would be very rude.
Well, he's the guy who's so Josh Hammer is the real name of the guy who is MC Hammer. So that's who he is. Inspiring Minecraft. Wait a minute, who's the new guy streaming? Dr. Dr. Bales. I'm not sure if this is Dr. Bales. Could be anything. It's been the lamest rapture ever. Hi AP and David Wood. I know it's kind of messed up. Daniel R. Constantine hugging and kissing. I saw Constant in London, and I said to him, "Hey, what's up, man?" And he said, "Hey, how you doing? You are definitely on our radar," he said. And I was like, "What does that mean?" He said, "Well, you're on our radar. I mean, we are definitely we are we are following you and all that. And at some point we might do something together." And he said, "Sorry that we haven't done anything together yet. We haven't had you on yet." And I was like, "It's okay. You don't want to be killed by Muslims, right?" He said, "Well, yeah, that's part of the consideration," he said. So it was a good conversation. Ayatollah Khamenei.
They've been having some good stuff, man. They've been having some good interviews.
Yeah. AP, you didn't get raptured because you're a cat human, you see. This is true. Mike Winger at home. I heard Charlie Kirk was secretly converting to Islam and his wife was a devout Palestinian, and that's why Mossad faked his death. This is true. Paula Lungaro, good to see you two back together. I've been dealing with depression, and you two make things all better. God bless the both of you. Thank you so much, Paula.
That's what we do. Hey, my wife's not back from her Bible study. I have to put my son to bed real quick. Be back in like 4 or 5 minutes.
Okay, all right. Do it. Inspiring Minecraft says a Turkish dude, a German dude, and a Polish dude walked into a bar. Oh, never mind. It was just AP. Nice. Somebody on the internet says, honestly disappointed. I thought you were an atheist debate bro, and now you're a Christian involved in Republican American politics, which has got to be closest to the opposite of Christian value. For first off, I appreciate the super chat. So I'm not sure why you're expressing your disappointment with a $10 super chat. However, here is the thing. Honestly disappointed. Okay. I thought you were an atheist debate bro. I'm not an atheist debate bro. In fact, for most of the time that I was online, that I've had an online persona, I have not ever been really an atheist debate bro. I mostly established my online presence because I have been against Islam and very outspoken about it. So that was the main thing. I'm an ex-Muslim and I want to tell people about Islam. So I'm not sure how you got the idea that I'm an atheist debate bro. I mean, I had a few debates from an atheist perspective in the past, but those were exceptions, and those were a tiny minority of everything that I did. And those are also far in the past now. I'm a Christian. I'm a Christian today. See? So you might have missed something here. I'm a Christian today. I'm no longer an atheist. You are a Christian. I'm not sure why you put Christian in those marks. Involved in American Republican politics, which has got to be the closest to the opposite of Christian values. This is just complete nonsense. That doesn't make any sense. if you have two parties in America, which are the Democratic Party and the Republican Party, and you want to point out and you want to point at the one that is closest to Christian values, it most definitely is the Republican Party and not the Democratic Party. If you're going to claim that the Republican Party is distant from Christianity compared to the other party, you know you're lying, right? It's just stupid, bad rhetoric. You might think that if you have a poor understanding of Christianity, and you might think, oh, Christianity is all about being nice and accepting everybody and loving each other, and loving each other even further than just loving each other. That's not what Christianity is about. So Christianity is has much deeper values than just all that. But I'm also not really involved in Republican American politics. I'm only recently kind of being involved in some of the political circles. I, for the most time, haven't been, and I don't think I'm ever going to be a politician or anything. So, yeah. But thanks for the $10. DR Bale's German pushing into Poland, not the way of Al-Zut. It's actually worse. I'm a Turkish person going into Poland. Ash Mays, AP, we still haven't had our cat human Mubahala, and what would St. John Chrysostom say about the shofar blowing? Just kidding, pretty epic. Good to see you live. Thank you. Do you like my shofar? I can't do it right. I have to work on it. Good to see you here, Ash. John Empire Power, Bob Villain, is he Muslim? I don't know what he is. I don't think he's a human. Cheryl R. Anthony Rogers may have a different opinion about Brandon Tatum. They discussed Brandon's Unitarian or modalist view of God. Oh, really? I didn't know anything about his theological stance. David, did you know that Brandon Tatum is a Unitarian or a modalist or something?
Yeah, that's why Anthony Rogers had to school him. Tragically, I could not find my son, so my wife will have to find him when she gets home.
Are you sure you want to look further?
No, he'll be all right. He's 7.
Prove me wrong then says, talk about the 7 Noahide laws. Every president has backed it. In 2024, Trump had a rabbi pray and he mentioned it. The end times are here. Why don't we talk about modern day Judaism connected to Talmud and Kabbalah?
Because we care about other things more.
Good question. The Android sent by CyberLife says, do you get annoyed at Christian nationalism invading churches specifically? I'm upset that some churches in my area are glorifying CK to the point of neglecting the gospel or going on political rants. By CK, are you talking about Charlie Kirk? Because he's not a Christian nationalist, or wasn't, in the sense that people would say. I also don't. I don't know. I haven't gone through all the churches in America, but I'm not sure if there is an invasion of Christian nationalism into churches that is happening. David, is this happening?
CNN says it is.
Oh, cool. Okay. All right. Uninspiring philosophy says AP and Big Diddy back together again. Al-Zut Booty Warrior says, what was it like meeting Winger? Is he as cool and masculine as he looks? He even more, man. It's just, it was one of the best moments of my life to meet Mike Winger. I saw him there, and I got very nervous as soon as I saw Mike Winger, but I went up to him and he was like, "Hey, how you doing?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, it's good to meet you. Good to meet you finally. It's such a great honor and pleasure." And he said, "Yeah. No worries, no stress." And he said, "I'm very happy for you and very proud of you." And I said, thank you so much. That means so much to me. So I had a good encounter with Mike Winger, who has to be one of the coolest people I've encountered in my entire life. Yeah.
Yeah, that would almost be as cool as meeting like Nick Fuentes or something.
Chef Mister, what would Mike Winger do against the Al-Zut? This is a good question. David, what would he do? What would Mike Winger do?
Probably try to play Minecraft with them or something.
Sonora Camel AP, did you have any pierogies on your visit? No, I didn't. What is pierogies?
Probably some Polish.
It sounds like a disease.
There's only one famous Polish food that's Polish sausage, but
the dumplings. Yeah, I did actually. I did. I think.
Are those Polish?
Yeah.
Polacks have dumplings?
Polish food is amazing, man. I didn't really know the extent of it, but I went to a Polish restaurant as soon as I landed.
A Polish restaurant? Something I've never seen in
And
my life, a Polish restaurant.
it was amazing food, man. Absolutely amazing. They have some really good dishes. Probably all stolen, but anything still, it's pretty good, you know. Josh7, thank you both for your live streams. I don't usually comment as I'm often half asleep, 1:30 a.m. UK now, but I appreciate your work and hope you felt welcome here at the Tommy Robinson March. It was fantastic. It was great. At some point, I had to leave the march early, so I just started to get out of my important people enclosure because I'm very important. So I had a special enclosure at the Tommy Robinson March. I had an all access card so I could go wherever I want. Even media wasn't allowed where I was allowed. That's how special I was. That's how important I was. But then I got tired at some point and got hungry, so I had to leave early. And then I decided to actually leave the important people enclosure and go among the peasants. The regular viewers, all the people who were there at the rally. And then this is totally the opposite of how I actually think, you know. But no, I started walking among the people. And it was fantastic. You know, there was such joy and such happiness there as I started walking around all the people attending the rally. It was a fantastic feeling, and it felt like there was a great waking up happening in London, in Britain. So I don't know. It was awesome to be there, honestly. Pretty awesome. Nurse loves coffee. How come we don't get to hear any shofar on any of these other shows you've been moonlighting on? They might not be cool enough or something, I think. I would say. Anyway, Katheist says, what do you say about Destiny refusing to condemn Charlie Kirk?
Wait, he refused to condemn Charlie Kirk?
No, probably refused to condemn the killing of Charlie Kirk.
Well, that would make more sense, yeah.
Well, I actually unfollowed Destiny a while ago. Although I had I had some tolerance and some love for how he was a long time ago. I have no idea what he's up to nowadays, but something really went wrong with him. At some point, he started going massively downhill, and just becoming completely wicked and messed up in things that he says. So I don't know what he said and did not say, but he's one of the people that I don't want to hear anything about nowadays. Very, very much an animal. Yeah. So anyway, David, you want to have a look at this stuff here? I first want to look at the
One second. I'm telling my wife that she needs to find our son.
Cool. I first want to look at this clip here, put together by Nathan Milkbar. And then I want to look at the actual whole video context, because Andrew is a good guy. I know him, and this is an important conversation. Alhamdulillah. Let's see.
You were the closest to him. You knew him the best. You were the closest to him. You knew him the best. I'm just so sick of some of the misconceptions and things that people are saying online. And I just was like, you're the person to just let's get the truth out there.
Charlie was definitely on the brink of changing some of his perspectives. And I can tell you factually, Charlie was praying the rosary. Charlie was going to mass. He was speaking about Mary. And typically when those steps start taking place, you stop referring to yourself, as I did, as a Judeo-Christian.
Now, I just want to take a second here and say, what the hell does that have to do with the conclusion that?
Well, obviously, dude, you don't know how their minds work. The conspiracy theorists. All you have to do is come up with anything. If you say Charlie was about to stop calling himself a Judeo-Christian, that's all you need to say the Jews killed him. That's all you need. So anything you can actually say.
Judeo.
Hey,
The thing is,
hang on. I just wanted to say very quickly, because I still see lots of people why you call them Judeo-Christian values? Why do you talk about Judeo-Christian? Guys, it's very simple, actually. And there's something very commonsensical about it. If you take a command like love your neighbor as yourself, that has been very important in Christianity, in the history of Christianity. But guess what? It's also in the Old Testament. So before Christians were ever saying it, Jews were saying it. And you take other things like believing that human beings are created in the image of God. That's been very important in the development of Western civilization. Guess what? It's also in the Old Testament. So the point of saying Judeo-Christian is some of these things didn't originate with Christianity. And so it's just kind of giving credit where it's due. This is a Judeo-Christian value. It's something Jews and Christians have shared. Imagine, I mean, put it this way. It reminds me of like when Andrew Tate quoted Candace Owens as saying, "Blessed are the peacemakers," right? Okay, Candace Owens did not come up with that, right? But imagine everyone started going around and just saying this is a Candace Owens value and this is something people would be like, well, wait a minute, people were saying that before Candace Owens. So anyway, it's pretty simple. I don't think you have to say Judeo-Christian. You can say loving your neighbor as yourself is a Christian value. That is completely correct, and so on. But I also don't have a problem saying Judeo-Christian because that's what it is. It's a Judeo value and a Christian value.
The funny thing is also pay attention to
when those steps start taking place, you stop referring to yourself, as I did, as a Judeo-Christian.
I've never heard somebody refer to themselves as a Judeo-Christian.
Yeah, I've never heard that either. I've heard of Judeo-Christian values and so on. I've never heard, hey, I'm a Judeo-Christian. What are you? What do you believe?
Judeo-Christian. Like I've heard lots of
Judeo-Christian
say and our united Judeo-Christian values, which I think there's nothing wrong with it. I have heard the West was built on Judeo-Christian values. I've never heard a single person refer to themselves as a Judeo-Christian. It's like, what are you? Oh, I'm a Judeo-Christian. What the hell does it even mean? I've never heard a single person say that ever.
Yeah, but I mean, based on the implication of everything Candace says, that the Jews were like, hey, Bibi, just so you know, he's about to stop calling himself a Judeo-Christian. Bibi's like, well, then we gotta push the button on assassinating him.
Take him out. It's just so ridiculous. Also, how do you jump from praying the rosary and talking about Mary? How then does that conclude in stopping or quitting to call yourself Judeo-Christian? Like,
yeah. Hey, and I mean, seriously, it sounds like what she's saying is if you become Catholic, you're going to be more anti-Jew, and therefore you're going to stop calling yourself that. Because if you can take it from the expert, ladies and gentlemen, Candace Owens is saying once you go Catholic, you really stop liking Jews in any way, and you want to distance yourself as far from them as you can, and you want to start going with every deranged conspiracy theory on the planet.
The funny thing is that the Catholic Church is the largest, the biggest, the major church that did the first step of officially rejecting and condemning anti-Semitism and embracing something as, taking Jews as as good people and as brethren and all that. So this is literally what the Vatican did in the
not her church.
But she obviously doesn't follow the church. She follows something different. So it's kind of weird that she would connect that to Catholicism. The Catholic Church explicitly condemns any form of anti-Semitism and all that, and is actually very embracing of Jews in general. So very, very funny stuff. Very funny stuff.
She's posted a photo of her and Charlie and the kids in mass before, and somebody in the comment section said, "Oh, are you guys converting?" And she said, "No, we just like attending sometimes." So she herself had said no.
Yeah.
Was he becoming Catholic?
No, but he really loved Catholic mass. He had some really big theological hangups with that. You can go check the videos out, him debating with Michael Knowles, in good fun. I mean, they were dear friends, but they loved kind of debating the whole Protestant versus Catholic thing.
Truth is that Charlie was under immense pressure.
So she obviously has this whole thing going on, which she and others started, that Charlie Kirk was about to convert to Catholicism. And then I also saw some people, by the way, very few people say, oh, he was also very interested in Orthodox Christianity. So I think he was changing. He was leaving Protestantism.
Yeah.
There was no indication of that at all. I think even on the day that he was murdered, he said that he's an evangelical.
You know what's messed up is like the hypocrisy here. Like, so Netanyahu mentioned Charlie and how much he loved Charlie and so on in that video that came out. She blasted away at that. How dare you try to use Charlie after his death to act like he's on your side and so on. And then what she do? He's about to become a Catholic. So why wouldn't you blame evangelicals? Why wouldn't you start suggesting evangelicals killed him? Like the evangelicals around him are like, oh no, he's gonna. This Charlie, he's the hero of young men everywhere. He's about to convert to Catholicism and then take everyone out of the evangelical church and make them all Catholics. We have to stop him.
It was Protestants altogether who conspired to kill him, apparently. Why not? Why not?
And he was facing financial threats over his shifting stance on Israel, over who he was hosting.
Because Turning Point was built.
I hate the way she says Israel, man.
By Zionist money. Turning Point was built by the Israeli donors.
Charlie was a friend.
That's completely false, by the way, but let's continue.
It was built by the Israeli donors.
Charlie was a friend of the Jewish people and a friend of Israel. Did he have opinions about the prosecution of the war? He thought their PR was abysmal.
I
they were doing
agree.
More good in many ways for their own cause. So all of those things were true, and he was upset that he couldn't express those things freely without all of this pressure coming down on the organization. But with Tucker, for example, we took some pushback. We lost some donors, and what's interesting is it wasn't necessarily Jewish donors, although that's a misconception about Turning Point's funding base, by the way, it's not a whole lot of Jewish donors. It's just not. There was always, I saw the comments online like, oh, the Jewish shekels or something it's all this gross stuff. It just wasn't true. And it isn't true.
Netanyahu offered.
So he says that there was actually pressure from some people over platforming the whole anti-Semitism thing and over platforming Tucker Carlson. But the idea that there was this huge pressure, that he was caving under it, and that there is a huge Jewish donor base and all that is just complete nonsense.
Yeah, and by the way, anyone who is pro-Israel would be ticked, unless you're simultaneously like Charlie Kirk, with where you place a really high value on debating the things, because keep in mind, you could be pro-Israel, but you really like debate, which means if I disagree with someone, then I'll say, hey, why don't we get together and hear each other out and maybe even debate this stuff and so on. But think, if you're and anyone who's pro-Israel might have a problem with platforming a guy who's sharing deranged conspiracy theories about Israel every 5 seconds, right? So why do you assume when they say there's pressure on Charlie, why do you assume that's coming from Netanyahu? Like, why would you just assume that? Why not anyone who's around him going, seriously, Tucker, have you seen what he's posting? Tucker is the guy you want at the conference here? So it's pretty straightforward that Jew or non-Jew, if you have a problem with what Tucker's saying, you might be like, well, hey, why are we bringing in Tucker, man? He's spreading some really, really messed up ideas. So anyway, that's the weird stuff. And on the related note, on the issue of donations, guys, that's kind of, he just said we don't have a lot of Jewish donors and so on, but just imagine that's kind of how donations, this isn't a Jewish thing. This is kind of how donations work. If someone says, I've got some money here and I want to give it to an organization that's doing something that I really like, And if you say, here, I'm giving it to you because you're doing something I really like, and all of a sudden they start saying, hey, we're going to bring in Tucker, and we're going to be like, whoa, hang on, I've given you money to not to platform like guys who are really have really weird ideas that are really dangerous and spreading rapidly. I mean, just imagine someone sends me a bunch of money and says, David, we like the work you're doing exposing jihad, so we want you to continue exposing jihad. And then suppose I start like having conferences with jihadis, even if it's for debate, but they're promoting their ideas, and you're like, hey, what are you doing having these guys on here? I'm like, bring them out, we're going to debate this stuff out. And guess what, you could say, I don't want you platforming these guys. I'm not gonna okay, that's not what I wanted, so I'll go fund someone else. That's kind of, I would assume that's kind of normal. I mean, that happened with all the campus protests, and you had all these business donors and so on who are donating to like Harvard and stuff. And what they start saying is, if this is what's happening at Harvard, you guys screaming for the annihilation of Israel, I don't want to support this anymore. That, I don't know. It seems this happens over and over again when someone is doing something that would be completely normal, not just for Jews, but for anyone. If you're financially supporting something and then it's doing something that you don't want it to do, and you say, okay, I would rather support a different group that's actually doing what I want, that seems completely normal. But if a Jew were to do that, then you see the Jews control everything and they're threatening everyone. And then if they didn't get what they want, then they killed you. It's like the only group people do that with. It's weird. It's weird stuff, man. Anyway, long story short, he just said, we don't have a lot of Jewish donors. And the idea that, there's this huge crackdown. Yep, there were complaints, but doesn't seem like the huge deal that people like Candace and Nick are all making it out to be.
That's funny. Wait a minute. I actually want to look for and find that post by Andrew, in which he addressed one of the rumors that were going around. Pressure. What was it called? No, can't find it now. So he made one of those. He made a tweet a few days after the death of Charlie, and addressed the rumors and said that this is completely false. And he asked a lot of people about it, whether there was some weird pressure inside going on against Charlie Kirk and all that, and said that this is complete nonsense. Nobody can confirm that. Everybody has denied it. And then people started accusing him of being paid by the Jews and accepting the shekels and all that. So it is pretty messed up, It is pretty messed up what people do.
Hey,
Turning point, $150 million. For one purpose and one purpose only.
Wait, who did it?
Like, I mean, it's all this gross stuff. It just wasn't true. And it isn't true.
What?
Given what we saw over in Israel about how they just didn't seem to care at all about what people were saying, and we were hoping because our view is like, hey, it's like constant. Like if you go on Twitter, everyone thinks you're all following the Talmud and that it commands you to kill all the Gentiles, and you're waiting to do this. And a Christian can't walk down the street in Israel without people spitting on him. They're spreading all this stuff, and it would be really easy to refute. And you guys just don't refute it at all. And the response is basically, we just want people to know we didn't start the war, and they have our hostages, and we're going to get our hostages back. And that's the message we want to keep sharing. And we're like, you really need to pay attention to all this stuff. So hearing that all of a sudden that Israel's decided, hey, $150 million to expose Tucker Carlson seems, I mean, that's a huge chunk of their like gross domestic product. That sounds. I would be shocked if that were true. Is it true, AP? Is it true?
No.
Nope.
Look at this.
Well, Candace and Nick are saying it's true.
Look at this. I have been asked about the Bill Ackman event more than a few times now. So I asked our staff who were traveling with Charlie to find out what's true and what's not. His team was with him 100% of the time when he wasn't in his hotel room. Here's what they told me. Bill never yelled at Charlie, never pressed him on Bibi, Netanyahu, never gave him a list of Charlie's offenses against Israel. There was concern raised about having Tucker at SAS. Student Action Summit, but we don't believe this came from Bill. And Charlie's reply was, honestly, people telling me not to have Tucker makes me want to have Tucker, and I'm going to lock him in for America Fest too. Charlie personally told me he had a very cordial relationship with Bill, and the event was productive. Those are the facts. This is in response to people creating false rumors that Bill Ackman, one of the donors and organizers, was apparently fighting and pressuring Charlie into
because that's what Candace said,
hosting or not hosting certain people. But here's the thing. So here's
she calls
the guy.
it an intervention. It was an Israeli intervention, grabbing him, bringing in a bunch of Jewish guys to threaten him, to destroy him if he doesn't back down off his extremely anti-Israel views that he's starting to develop.
And then one of Charlie Kirk's best friends and also spokesperson of Turning Point USA actually clarifies and says that this is nonsense, that never happened. But then you have people in the comment section like,
they got to you too.
Don't take the shekels, Colvett. Selling Turning Point over to the Zionists will be the end of Turning Point. Charlie Kirk deserves the truth.
Can you imagine your buddy just died and this is what you have to deal with?
Revealed to the public to establish a viable legacy. Just ask the team what happened, because I wanted to know too. Had they said the opposite, I would have said so. Take it as you will.
Isn't this amazing? Like, a guy gets killed, and then Candace Owens, who's not there for any of this stuff, and Nick Fuentes, who isn't there for any of this stuff, they start saying, here's what happened. And then all the people who are actually there, or who know the people who are there, get the story. Everyone posts the story. People's stories all line up. And then they're blasted as selling out and taking shekels. That's dude. I posted it. I posted that earlier. What the heck did I post? I think it was on this issue and noticing this pattern. I said, first rule of Candace Club: if someone dies and you blame the Jews, you're right. Second rule of Candace Club: if someone dies and you don't blame the Jews, you've been paid by Mossad. They have this system where if they say something and you confirm it, then you're right and you're good. If you say it's false, then you're paid by Mossad or Jews or something like that. And it's like, there's no way to prove. You could have every single person who was at that meeting come forward and say, here, we've written a complete description of what happened. You could have video footage of the entire thing and post every moment, even when Charlie wasn't in there, and when he went to his hotel room, post every single second. And what would they say? They say, this is clearly Mossad propaganda. It's all AI. You can't, once they spread the lie, you can't refute it at all. There's no way to refute it. It's just insane, man. Sick stuff.
Yep. That's what happens. That's what they do. That's what they do.
True.
Netanyahu offered Turning Point $150 million.
What's your source on that?
For one purpose and one purpose only: to shill for Israel harder.
Was Charlie offered $150 million from Israel?
As far as I know, no.
I had never heard anything like that. Everyone I've asked has said the
Yeah,
same
well,
thing.
I only heard it from Candace.
It doesn't matter the amount that would have been coming down. We would have said no.
And there's evidence that is true.
Turning Point does not, Charlie would not accept foreign money.
Exactly.
We only took American money.
He takes down the
So that's it. Completely false claim. Never happened.
And guess what? It won't matter ever. Not for the Candace fans. She could have said, I mean, here's what's amazing. She could have said, Netanyahu offered Charlie Kirk $100 trillion to destroy me, Candace Owens. And Netanyahu told Charlie, if you don't accept this $100 trillion, I'm going to kill you. Candace could say that, and her idiot fans would believe it, and there is nothing that could ever shake them away from that. Nothing. No amount of evidence. If you disagree with it, if you say that's ridiculous, $100 trillion, that's completely insane and idiotic, her fans will go, no, you're just being paid by Israel to deny the truth. This is crazy, man. These are bad. These.
Adam McGrath says, AP and Dr. Wood, how much does it cost to ask you guys a question? $50,000.
$150 million only in shekels. So that's about 450 million shekels.
There you go.
American money.
he takes down.
Point.
What's also funny is he says that even if such an offer was made, yes, it would be turned down because Turning Point has never accepted foreign money. So
That's why they're called Turning Point, because they turn stuff down.
yeah,
It does not. Charlie would not accept foreign money.
Exactly.
We only took American money.
He takes down the camera that is directly above where Charlie was sitting and would be able to provide, therefore, a lot of insight. And
This is one of those. This is one of those moments where you can distinguish an actual, real, honest, thinking person from a conspiracy mind. If you see footage, if you see a video where somebody's taking down a camera at the spot, of course you might ask yourself, wait a minute, why is somebody taking down the camera? Is this somebody meddling with the crime scene? However, you could also think, okay, I have to find out why it is being taken down. There must be an explanation to this, right? If you go the direction of, I have to find out why they are doing this, there must be an explanation to this. Let me see what I can find out. And then you actually ask around and wait for an explanation, and you evaluate those explanations. That means you probably have a healthy, functioning, okay mind that actually is after the facts and after the truth. If, however, you see footage of somebody taking down cameras and you're like, oh, they're taking down cameras, this must be because they're hiding something, because there's something else going on here, then you have a slightly dysfunctional, conspiracy-minded brain, and you shouldn't be trusted as a source of information. And that's exactly what Candace Owens is.
Above where Charlie was sitting and would be able to provide, therefore, a lot of insight. And then you can see he kind of sits the camera onto the desk, and it looks like he removes the SIM card from it, or the SD.
And this was for what purpose? To
why could it be done?
Yeah. So is this because this person had the camera angle that's going to expose who really shot him, namely Rabbi Goldbergstein?
Like, just think about it. Instead of jumping to a stupid conclusion, think about what could be a reason why somebody would immediately go to the cameras and remove the cameras and take the footage out of them.
I would want that to give to the police to give evidence or something like that.
I would want it to happen, that if something like this happens, I would want a secure and reliable person to immediately go and secure the cameras. And
that seems obvious, right? I mean, in the immediate aftermath, you're going to be looking around for any evidence. You just leave it there all day?
But did she just say SIM card?
He kind of sits the camera onto the desk, and it looks like he removes the SIM card from it.
SIM card? That's what we use in our cameras, AP? SIM cards?
It's all right. She doesn't know anything.
Or the S.
Well, who are you going to believe, everyone? Us or the world's leading investigator?
SD card.
Why did our team start taking down cameras immediately?
That was because even in the shock, there was an understanding that the proximity of those cameras were going to be evidence, and they wanted to make sure they didn't get stolen out of the cameras. But B, they didn't want anybody to run in. I mean, there was those videos of the kid running and grabbing the hats.
Yeah.
So there was an understanding. I mean, I talked to the team on that, and they said, because we know people can be evil.
So I'm wondering if the federal government has.
So you have a scene where there are multiple cameras, multiple different angles, and somebody is shot at the scene. The staff responsible for the cameras immediately goes out and goes to the cameras and grabs the cameras and removes the cards from those cameras and secures them. Later on, those are handed over to the police. This is done completely for the purpose of actually protecting the footage.
I have to say, if I had cameras running, I mean, we're at events all the time. If my camera was running, like suppose I'm not speaking or something like that, my camera's running and there's a shooting, my number one priority, apart from like immediate first aid or something like this, if that's covered, I am getting that footage. That's like rule number one. Matter of fact, when we used to go to places like Dearborn and so on, I had a set of rules for anyone who was going along with us, who was going to be bringing a camera or something like that. And I said, it was 3 steps. 1, check the dot, right? Because we have thought we were recording before, and we didn't check the red dot, and we actually thought we were recording when we weren't recording. That's happened various times. Check the dot, get the shot, guard the shot, right? And it's because you if something's happening, you want to check the dot to make sure you're recording. Two, you want to make sure if something's going down, someone's getting beat up, you need to be recording that, because that could be your only evidence if police, if say you did something you didn't do. And then guard the shot, meaning if people turn and see you got a camera and you have to ball up on the ground with the camera underneath you to protect that footage, you cannot let anyone else get that footage, because that is your only evidence. And so if you have to be balled up on the ground with people stomping on you, do not let that go, because they're going to change the story real quick, like if you can't prove what happened with video. So the idea that this is some great mystery, oh my goodness, there are people going and getting the SD cards, or SIM cards, as we've been corrected on. There are people going and getting the SIM cards out of the cameras. You see, it must be the Jews or the federal government trying to cover up what really happened. This woman is nuts, man.
Hey, what's going on in Denmark, man? In Denmark.
Nothing's going on in Denmark. Nothing has ever gone on in Denmark, ever.
Denmark links drones at Copenhagen airport to hybrid attacks across Europe. Drones close to a Denmark airport for a second time in a week. Denmark. There's something weird going on in Denmark. Whatever.
Has explored the possibility that somebody could have been under Charlie and done that.
Look at this stupid.
Yeah.
Look at this stupid.
They said because we know people can be.
Hang on. That is.
Just
I thought people were making fun of her for saying that. I thought people were making that up just to mock. She actually said someone underneath. He's surrounded by people, and she thinks there's a gunman underneath him.
You know people can be evil.
So I'm wondering if the federal government has explored the possibility that somebody could have been under Charlie and done that, while everyone's looking around and thinking that a shot went off from here. If that was just maybe like decoy number 2, and actually Charlie was shot from beneath him, maybe everyone's looking up when we should be looking below.
Right? You don't think it would sound different?
What I would expect is if I was a federal agent on the scene, if I was somebody on the scene, or involved in the investigation, and Candace Owens came up to me and said, "Hey, I'm wondering, have you guys ever considered the possibility that there was somebody under Charlie who actually took the shot and not somebody in the distance?" I would probably tell her, "Oh no, we never thought about that because we were all stupid. How about you come and do the job for us?" That's probably how I would react to her. This is a retarded woman.
That's extremely idiotic. That's the dumbest thing ever. I have to point out, if there's a lone gunshot that rings out, it's hard to tell where it came from, but you can tell which side of you it's on. Like I heard this from he was a Vietnam sniper, and I was asking him about the one shot, one kill thing that I saw in a movie and stuff. And he said, yeah, if you fire one shot, he goes, and people aren't expecting it, they don't know what's going on. You fire one shot, then all of a sudden they start looking around. If you fire a second shot, then they can sort of zero in on your location, because now they're paying attention and looking for where it's coming from. But the idea that these people are all gathered around Charlie, a shot comes from right beneath him and shoots him, and they all think it's behind them, is so, I don't know what to, like, how does
she's
anyone pay attention to
insane.
her?
She's insane. She's stupid. She's mentally retarded, and I think she really needs to just take a step back, delete her channel, put an end to her show. She's now getting sued brutally by the Macrons.
I have never rooted for French people ever in any situation.
But if she actually continues with it, she said she will not ask for the case to be dismissed. She then asked for it to be dismissed. She said she will not she will not settle or something like that. She will probably ask for that as well. If she actually goes through with that lawsuit, she will be crushed brutally. She will be crushed brutally. And I wonder if her dumb husband actually sits there and thinks, yeah, it's all right, just get sued. We have unlimited amounts of money. We'll just pay. We'll just pay for the defamation, for whatever you say. We'll just pay it all. It's all right. Just talk trash. Keep talking trash. It's all right. We'll pay all of it. We have endless money. I don't know what's happening there behind the scenes, but she just needs to stop, man.
Yeah, it is. I've said this before. It's something where people are under the authority of another organization, they can kind of keep the crazy controlled to an extent because their job depends on it. And then once they go out on their own with limitless cash behind them, then they can say what they want. And then you find out how crazy it goes. But then you've also got her fans. If you look when she posts something, we used to talk about this with Andrew Tate. Like, you manipulate your fans, but they control you in return because their reactions tell you what you can get away with and how you need to act and respond. If you look, she'll say like the dumbest, most insane thing anyone has ever said, and what do her fans say? Oh, see, you're Charlie's only true friend, Candace, because you're the only one doing this. You're a hero, a hero, a hero. The more insane she sounds, the more they praise her as a hero. And she's sitting here, hey, maybe Bibi Netanyahu was hiding under the ground in front of Charlie, and he shot him from underground. Why aren't they investigating that? What a freaking lunatic, man.
Erica, have full confidence that we got the shooter, the right shooter?
I think so. And I also think, I think we're waiting to see if there's more details that will follow.
That makes sense.
Who knew in advance? Who radicalized them? Was there a funding network? All of that stuff, I think, is fair and open-ended questions that we can keep asking.
Also, was anyone else involved?
Yeah, I'm very aware that there are other theories of the case. There's a pretty high level of confidence that.
So Igor says, I'm telling you, this is all a government setup. This is, I for some reason, I don't know, maybe it's because I haven't live streamed for a while, but today I have a very, very low tolerance level for stupidity. You know what I'm going to do, Igor? Just for this comment here, I'm going to ban you forever from this channel.
Good.
In fact, anybody who in this chat, who from this point on, be careful, even if you're joking, and I don't see that you're joking, from this point on actually says, oh, Candace has a point. This is actually a government plot. I'm going to ban you permanently, I swear. Yeah. I really have zero tolerance about this kind of stuff right now.
Yeah, that's exactly what she said right after. I mean, bodies were not even cold yet. Right after the shooting at the Catholic school, where a trans individual went and shot students at the Catholic school. No information came out except there was a shooting at the Catholic. Candace instantly posted, this is a government setup. Don't let them steal your guns. It was one thing when you had like Biden in control. You want to say they're trying to take your guns, but now what? The Trump administration is having school shootings to take your gun. Like what? I mean, and she did this instantly. It's freaking nuts, man.
I imagine. I understand that for some people who are anonymous losers at home and who don't know anything. I mean, you're probably sitting in your mom's basement and just doing whatever you do for the whole day long. But you actually watch footage. You actually see footage of a man, a fantastic guy, being brutally killed on camera while his children are there watching, while his wife is watching. You see him get brutally murdered. For those who know him or don't know him, this is completely different. You see a man get brutally murdered, and you are in your home somewhere. You don't know anything about any of this. You have no connection to the guy, and you actually think, oh yeah, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to speculate about what actually happened. I don't trust the FBI. I don't trust the police. I don't trust camera. I don't trust government. I don't trust this. I don't trust that. I don't trust her. I don't trust his wife. I don't trust his loved ones. I don't trust the people that he set up as the people who run his company and all that. No, I actually know that there's something deeper going on here. I'm sorry, but do you realize what kind of a scumbag you are being to people who are actually close to that victim? Do you realize what kind of a scumbag you are to the family of Charlie Kirk, to the wife, to the children, to the loved ones, to his friends, to his best friends, to people that he himself appointed, who actually cooperate and work with the FBI and who are in it to try to figure out what actually happened. They want to find out what happened. They wanted to catch the killer, but in the first days after it happened, there was a storm of thousands of people online distracting from what actually happened by creating conspiracy theories. You have a wife that is dying inside, that just saw her husband, her beloved husband, be brutally shot and killed on camera. She's dying inside, and she wants the authorities to find out what happened. And you are sitting there and actually obstructing justice, but by creating stupid conspiracy theories, because you are a loser and you have nothing else going on in your life.
Make the call, AP. Well, the FBI definitely covering up what happened that day.
Block.
Gotcha.
Banned. Here's somebody else. Wait, she's an actress at Hal Clipper. Banned.
How's that feel? You guys like that? You like how that feels? It's what we do to Candace fans. Gosh, you guys are dumb.
Right.
Can you imagine that? like, okay, guys, I have no doubt various governments do some messed up stuff from time to time, maybe take some people out, but in this situation where you got a means, motive, and opportunity, and guy running and jumps off the roof, family turns him in. Is there a situation where someone could actually do something and you wouldn't blame Israel or the U.S. government? Like, what evidence would you need? Put it this way: the more evidence you have, the more you just say it's a government plot. Like, you could actually have video footage of him before the attack going, guys, I can't take this Charlie Kirk guy. He's really raging me. I can't stand it. He's so anti-trans. Here's me getting ready. Here's me getting ready with I want the world to know this. Here's me with my rifle. Oh, here's me, selfie style, on the way to do the shooting. Here's me carrying out the shooting. What would they say after all that? You see, it's Netanyahu or it's the U.S. government.
Yep.
Freaking morons. Complete lunatics.
Yep.
Maybe Candace Owens is a psyop. A Freemason psyop.
She is.
It's meant to
This
sow
is
discord.
The truth, and that they got the guy, and now we need to see.
Hang on. AP.
What?
We might need to start. I know people like messing around saying, hey, what if Candace is actually working for so and so and so on? I mean, think about this. Right after Charlie's murder, people have pointed out you didn't see like people burning buildings to the ground and so on. What did you have? You had tons of people saying, I haven't gone to church in my whole life, or I haven't gone to church in years, but you know what? I'm going to church now. You had tons of people going, hey, guys, this is a time to set aside our differences. We need to work together in fixing all the things that are wrong with this country. You had tons of people who were shocked at how many people were online celebrating Charlie Kirk's death, laughing about it, mocking it, and so on. And a bunch of people were like, you know what? This is something that's going to rally us. And what do you have? You have Candace Owens jumps in the middle of it and tries to rip it all apart. If I wanted to pick anyone who's getting paid to ruin things, it would be people like Candace Owens, because you had this huge movement, this instantly starting, and then who wants to rip it apart? Candace Owens. Keep in mind, with that said, I don't believe it's some psyop. The point is, if I'm going to think like that, who's part of a conspiracy to screw things up massively? Well, who's screwing things up massively? Candace Owens. So if I wanted to point to anyone and say someone's getting paid to ruin everything, I would probably be her.
Now,
Yasmin Mazawi, you are
now Tucker is promoting his new series, which is questioning 9/11.
Oh, perfect timing.
For 24 years now, politicians, the media, intel agencies in this country and abroad have all demanded that you believe the official story about 9/11. And here's what it is. They tell you a group of al-Qaeda affiliated terrorists, many of whom were known to U.S. intel services, somehow managed to evade capture for years as they planned the most significant and elaborate terror attack in human history.
Yes, that's actually what happened. I'm sorry, I know it's very cool to be like, oh no, I don't accept the official narrative. It was how can you be stupid enough to believe what they say? Are you stupid or something? Yeah, that's actually what happened.
Hey, You know, it's extremely screwed up.
You know what's funny? It's actually counterculture right now. Now it is counterculture to actually defend the actual real narrative. It is now officially the unpopular the unpopular position to defend the actual narrative, which is actually proven right. It is now the popular thing to go with all these stupid conspiracy theories. And here's Greg saying apostate thinks weapons of mass destruction were in Iraq. First off, what the hell does this have to do with what we just talked about? Secondly, yes, weapons of mass destruction were actually prior to the invasion inside Iraq. However, at the time of the invasion, they were no longer in Iraq because Iraq very much lost their capabilities. However, did you know that Saddam actually, at this point, where America was claiming that there are weapons of mass destruction in Iraq, was openly bragging that he not only has, but is also developing and advancing weapons of mass destruction? Did you ever know this? If you found out today that Saddam Hussein was actually openly bragging that he has weapons of mass destruction and that he's developing more weapons of mass destruction, if you knew this, would you think that invading Iraq was probably partially justified? Because who else would be more reliable in terms of whether there are weapons of mass destruction inside Iran or not than the leader of Iraq or not, than the leader of Iraq? He actually did make those claims until his last moments. Were you aware of this? Or did you only become aware of this whole narrative later on when it became popular to say America made up a story about weapons of mass destruction, but it was never there, then they invaded it? Saddam Hussein openly bragged about it until Iraq was invaded. I don't even care if they were weapons of mass destruction or not. I'm glad America invaded Iraq. I'm happy that America invaded Iraq. Because if you're going to go out there and brag about this, and brag about having weapons of mass destruction, considering also that Saddam Hussein actually carried out genocides against his own civilian population with weapons of mass destruction in the past, such as against the Kurdish people, if you're going to brag about this kind of stuff, you deserve to be invaded and stopped. So I'm glad the invasion of Iraq happened. I'm really, really glad about it.
Hey, yeah.
What?
Hey, you know what's messed up?
What?
This was posted yesterday, right?
Yeah.
So this was posted on September 23rd. If Tucker has his series on 9/11 being an inside job, when should this have been posted?
On 9/11.
He actually delayed it because Charlie just got shot.
Well, what a good man.
Yeah. Hey.
What?
So the CIA was behind 9/11. Haven't seen it. Didn't know this existed, but I'm assuming Mossad's involved and Jews are involved and Israel's involved too. But Candace Owens and Tucker Carlson. It's like, you ever seen the John Wick movies, AP?
No, I don't watch children's movies.
Here's what's really, I mean, they're good movies. That's why they did so well. But the idea is basically there's like an assassin every block. There's all day long you're just walking by assassins. There's assassins at the grocery store. There's assassins here. There's like this huge culture of assassins. And it's like there's a scene where John he's in a park and it turns out hundreds of people, everyone in the park is an assassin and so on. Then he starts walking away. Everyone he goes past is actually an assassin. There's just assassins. And it's like, okay, how many people are getting assassinated in the world that there needs to be like hundreds of thousands of assassins everywhere in this underground assassin culture and so on? Anyway, so that's the silly part of it. But based on what these guys believe, that's actually what it is. Like there's just assassins everywhere working for all the governments and working for all the agencies, just assassinating people left and right and assassinating everyone who's getting out of line. And Tucker and Candace are the one who are exposing all these assassins in all these powerful places. They're exposing all the Israeli assassins. They're exposing all the CIA assassins. They're exposing how all these governments are doing all this stuff, and they have all these assassins working for them 24/7, assassinating people. And yet Tucker and Candace are just freely exposing all this stuff on every platform on the planet. Isn't that weird? They don't even have to go on Rumble. They're just posting this stuff on YouTube, and
That's
they're
funny,
fine.
but nobody wants to hear about some weird movie that is in some unrealistic world where apparently assassins go around and have superhero powers, and some guy goes against 100 people and never gets shot and doesn't die and all that. What's next? Are you going to talk about the Avengers? Are you going to talk about Mr. Captain America something? When are we talking about Wonder Woman? What about Spider-Man? What about the latest Superman? Are you going to say that this is basically just like Superman?
We're not talking about some comic book world, AP. We're talking about real life assassins. They're everywhere. They're assassinating everyone. And Tucker and Candace, for some reason, are being allowed to expose everything the U.S. government is doing, everything Israel's doing. They just never stop them. It's like the U.S. government and Israel, they're like, let's take down the Twin Towers, and then they pull it off. But Tucker figures it out. Candace figures it out, and you can't blame them for figuring out, because Candace spotted the Jews, the dancing Jews over there. They had to document what happened, so they had to stand over there and record it. There would have been no other way to document their success in making these buildings collapse. And now the U.S. government, the FBI, the CIA, Mossad, they all conspired to kill Charlie Kirk and blame it on some 22-year-old kid. But Tucker and Candace, once again, they're on the job. They're exposing it. And this elite group of assassins with the power of the world's most powerful governments, with all the assassins working for them, gosh, they just can't stop. They just can't stop Tucker and Candace Owens.
That's funny. I wanted to listen to this. I've never really listened to it.
The presence of evil is kickstarting people to wonder about the good.
That's what happened to me.
That's what happened to you?
Oh yeah, I had a direct experience with it.
In the milieu of journalism, or just
nope, in my bed at night. I
Annabelle
got attacked while I was asleep with my wife and 4 dogs in the bed and mauled.
4 dogs in your bed?
Physically mauled.
That was probably a dog, dude.
Attacked by a demon?
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
He's sitting in bed with a pit bull and he gets mauled and he thinks it's a demon?
Wait a minute. In my bed, dogs, and I got attacked while I was asleep with my wife and 4 dogs.
4 dogs in the bed. Your wife and 4 dogs in the bed. And you think it was a demon that scratched you?
While I was asleep with my wife and 4 dogs in the bed and mauled.
You got mauled. You had 4 dogs in the bed. And it was a demon that mauled you.
Yeah, by a demon. Or by something unseen that left.
Is that right?
Claw marks on my sides.
They looked exactly like my dog's claws.
Yeah. Year and a half ago.
Was your wife terrified? I know you were.
I wasn't. I was totally confused. I woke up and
It was probably his wife, man. Did somebody check on his wife? You think it was the dogs?
No. I mean, put it this way. If it was anything other than the dogs, it was Israel. Netanyahu sent in Mossad with their new invisibility cloak, clawed him, and the rest is history.
I'm pretty sure it was his wife. Must have been his wife. It was either his wife, the dogs, or it was Israel. So yeah, there you go. Alhamdulillah.
He loved the beauty of old Catholic churches. And
oh, actually, I just switched to the whole video here. But before that, let's go through some super chats. Smile to Jahannam. What's up, Smile to Jahannam? I actually met Smile to Jahannam in Poland, which was very funny. Do you think Jews will like Poland when they go back? Wait, this just reminds me. I was chatting with, I'm just saying this publicly because I didn't get back to him, but the other day I was chatting with Joseph from Israel Advocacy Movement, And
Did he threaten you? Did he threaten you?
let me see. I was texting with him about something, and then I said to him, oh yeah, he asked me what my plan looks like about Israel, and I said, I will let you know I'm currently traveling in Poland, the ancestral homeland of Jews. And then he didn't respond to me, so I was wondering if he got offended by it. But now I realize that he was actually waiting for me to get back once I'm done with Poland. Okay, so
Hey, so you met Smile to Gehenna in Poland. Did you meet Smiles to Jenna in the UK?
Yes.
Did he feed you grapes?
No.
Did he grape?
No. Sterling Miller became a YouTube member. Welcome to the club. CEO said he's religious, bro, now, but still an apostate, bro. Yeah, that's true, bro. Nasara says, we had Poland, but then the winged hussars arrived and dealt with us almost like the men of Ulzut with Momo. The Samurai Hobbit. Funny how many countries are so quick to recognize Palestine, but not Kurdistan or Taiwan. Well, you can't do that because then you will make Turkey and China angry. And in the case of recognizing Palestine, you only make Israel angry, and who cares about Israel? You know? Apparently, Israel has all the power in the world, is controlling the world and running everything. But
hiding underground, they can shoot you anytime.
But people are like, yeah, we don't care about Israel. Let's just recognize Palestine. Clearly, everything is true people say about Israel, apparently. Inspiring Minecraft, Candace, I can confirm. As a Protestant, I never talk about Mary, and I will never go to mass because I know that I'll say the Shahada if I do. Powerful. SG, considering the new Islamophobia laws in the UK, Christians can flip the script and say they're a sect of original Quran-only Muslims who preach the Injil.
Yeah, I might need to do that. Yeah, well, hey guys, we'll be talking about the UK tomorrow. Some of you may have seen young Bob got arrested. They've messed with him before. Usually they, take him somewhere and make him leave or something like that. Now they actually kept him locked up for a day. So anyway, we're gonna have young Bob with us tomorrow, and we'll be asking him about some of the stuff that happened, but we'll also be talking about the new Islamophobia definition that they're working on and some of the other stuff.
Nice. Just very quickly.
Who does that at a freaking memorial service?
I gotta go grab some. Just kidding.
The origin of the Joker.
Yeah. Susan Morales, AP will start sneaking into Protestant churches worship time after attending CK Memorial. I was actually kind of impressed with the service. It was pretty. I didn't think I would be. I didn't know what to think about those contemporary Christian songs and all that. But
that's what you guys always make fun of. Eastern Orthodox always make fun of contemporary worship music.
Yeah, that's what we do. It was very, very nice. Ari Wasserman, Candy Charlie was changing his dress code. He stopped wearing blue and white striped shirts because it shows support for Israel, just like me. Gabriel Valencia, Kenneth Paul said the root supports you. That's true. That's what Paul said. The root supports you, not you, the root. Mm-hmm. Stefan Thomas, AP, I liked your content with Irfan Pitsi. Blessings. Thank you. Mo the goat, the way she say Judeo, vile. Jesus was a Jew, lived and died as one. If you have an issue with that, get help or convert to Islam. Without Judaism, there would be no Jesus. All the good he represents. Powerful. There still would be, but it happened to be with Judaism. Inspiring Minecraft, actually, CK was a Mormon, you see. Ari Wasserman, I'm pro-Israel, but anti-Israel. Hikaru Kukaru says, maybe you've answered this before, but thoughts on the CEOs of Reddit, Twitch, Discord, and Steam testifying in Congress about online radicalization. Hassan Piker is as bad as Candace, in my opinion. I haven't seen any of the stuff that they testified in Congress. What are your thoughts, David?
I have none, because I have no idea who this is or what he's talking about. I mean, other than he's talking about online radicalization.
Beef. AE became a new member. Thank you so much. Ari Wasserman says the Clad called Mojab a Muslim ogre. A while ago. This is a very offensive, and Israel must pay.
Muslim ogre.
Oh man, Tal is a good guy. I like Tal. He's funny. Cool Bob, do you think Candace's Israel Charlie conspiracy theory or Jay Smith's Muhammad mythicism is a more dangerous lie that is spreading?
Yeah, it's interesting when we were talking about like everyone, something awesome happening, and then Candace comes in and derails it. That's kind of what the mythicism thing, like they're in different categories. Jay Smith is not like evil or insane, but it's the same thing. It's like we're like crushing Dawa. We're crushing it. We're just crushing it. We can't even get these guys to debate at like DebateCon and stuff like that last year. He couldn't find anyone willing to step up. I mean, James was offering piles of money to any Muslim willing to debate and stuff. Dawa was on the run. We go to Speaker's Corner. They don't want to come near us. The whole thing is trembling. All the foundations of Dawa were shaking, and then everyone's learning the Islamic dilemma. These guys are scrambling, and then no, everyone, we have to focus on mythicism, and this is the only real way to do things. And it's like, why now? We're crushing it. Why now? Why inject this right now? So anyway, there's that similarity. But with that said, no, Candace is just pure.
Uninspiring Philosophy says, hey, Didi, you kind of look like a kangaroo. Loaves of Bread says, PragerU has a video of Dennis remembering Charlie.
Yeah, I haven't watched that yet, but I saw it's only like 4 minutes long. You might just want to check that out at some point.
Tips to respond to conspiracists, they keep shifting. There's nothing you can do. Chameleon, they blame Israel of being what Islam really is. That's the funniest thing. Yes. Eli, what's up, Eli? Eli says, love you both. Thank you, Eli. Appreciate it very, very much. Always good to have you here. And still need to come down there to see you. Inshallah. Loaves of Bread, did Wizard of Oz curtain come from Dihya stories? Yes. Paul, this reminds me, I need to put on my list to visit the tomb of Dihya al-Kalbi when I'm in Israel.
Oh yeah, you got to do that, man.
Hang on a second. Gotta put it in my notes. Dihya tomb. Dihya.
What? Hey, you should record it, and just being in the presence of even his tomb, you feel much stronger and more manly.
Yeah. Dihya tomb. Okay. Apparently there are two tombs. One of them is claimed to be in Israel, and the other is claimed to be in Lebanon or something. But yeah. Or Jordan.
They had one tomb for most of his body and another tomb just for his special part that Muhammad loved.
Candace responded on Ben Shapiro's latest Instagram post. She is trying to bait him to respond, claiming he and Charlie fought over business. You know what I actually did? I was so sick of seeing Candace pop up on Twitter, that I actually blocked her. And I was also going to mute the word Candace or Candace Owens. I need to do that as well. Inshallah. Ash Mays, before becoming Christian, I used to smuggle Mossad money to USA politicians between bouts of worshipping Ezra as the son of God in the synagogue of Satan. It's pretty good. Pretty nice. Sammy's dad says, a husband and father is murdered. The left dances in his blood, and now the Groypers are trying to turn him into horse to wrestle. These are evil, evil days.
Pretty bad.
The milkman, even though I see rabbinic Judaism is satanic, derived from Pharisees sect, crap like this is why I'm a Zionist regardless. Everyone always blames them. That's very interesting.
Yeah, we pointed this out. I mean, especially like after the war started, we pointed out over and over and over again. Given how quickly people can instantly turn on Jews, you kind of make an airtight case for why they need their own country, because you can't trust people in other countries not to turn against them on the drop of a dime, apparently.
Yeah. Someone should give Candy her meds. I think she stopped taking them. I think she's on some high, brutal drugs. KL is a member for 14 months. Welcome. Good to have you here. Cool. Bob, do you think there's any justification at all to vote Democrat left wing as a Christian? My friend still thinks Republicans are worse. I don't know how. I'm not going to give any advice on who you should vote for. David, what do you say?
I have to say it is interesting. I mean, this is Trump's first year back in office, but you saw, because you were there, but you saw. I mean, you had a huge chunk of the administration and so on. Several of them just openly proclaiming the gospel and so on. Crazy to see that, given how the direction things seem to be heading in for a long time. And you might think, oh, at the next election, there will be the backlash, and people will, because people kind of go back and forth. They vote someone into power, and then they're like, we don't like that. Let's vote for the opposite. And then they vote for the opposite, and then they hate that, and then they just keep going back and forth and so on. But given how absolutely insane the left has become on some of these issues, it's like, I think you guys are going to keep getting crushed. And so, I don't know.
I have to watch this. I have to watch this again. Hang on.
Imagine
there are people watching here tonight that didn't know much about.
What is this stupid quality, man? If you're going to put a video up, at least put it up in high quality. What is this?
Back then, I'm going to admit to you guys, I was a little skeptical.
I guess I have to go to the actual stream on Charlie Kirk's own channel. Charlie Kirk. I just want to watch that part of Marco Rubio's speech again. Like, how is it so difficult to actually put the clips up in high quality for these media outlets, for these dinosaur media outlets? How is it so hard to put them up in proper quality, just like the original stream did it, and instead put them in low quality like this? How difficult is it? Look at the quality here on the original stream.
I think we remember him for constantly saying, you want to live a productive life, get married, start a family, love your country. These are powerful messages. But I hope many who are watching, I imagine there are people watching here tonight that didn't know much about Charlie Kirk until 11 days ago. Maybe they were disengaged from politics. Maybe they were partially engaged. I hope one of the things they take from this is that the movement Charlie Kirk led and started and gave fuel to was about politics, but not only about politics. It was deeper, it was broader. And I would say that, taking the liberty, but I'm confident he would agree, one of the things he wants us to take away from this, from all of this, is the following. His deep belief that we were all created, every single one of us, before the beginning of time, by the hands of the God of the universe, an all-powerful God, who loved us and created us for the purpose of living with him in eternity. But then sin entered the world and separated us from our Creator. And so God took on the form of a man and came down and lived among us. And he suffered like men. And he died like a man. But on the third day, he rose unlike any mortal man. And to prove any doubters wrong, he ate with his disciples so they could see, and they touched his wounds. He didn't rise as a ghost or as a spirit, but as flesh. And then he rose to the heaven, but he promised he would return, and he will. And when he returns, because he took on that death, because he carried that cross, we were freed from the sin that separated us from him. And when he returns, there will be a new heaven and a new earth, and we will all be together, and we are going to have a great reunion there again with Charlie and all the people we love. Thank you, and God bless you.
It's so incredible to see this speech from the Secretary of State in America, given in front of 100,000 people while millions are watching all around the world. It was even more incredible being there, man. That was fun. I was over there somewhere. Look, you can see me over here. See? You see me? I'm right there.
Wait, you're up front with all the important people?
Yeah, I was up there somewhere.
Not back there with all the commoners.
No, I wasn't among the peasants. I was over there with all the important people. Yeah, I was over here, somewhere over here. You can see me right there. If you look closely, you can see me right there. Yeah.
Thank you and God bless you.
You forgot to say, and God bless America. Alhamdulillah.
The stained glass.
And him and Erica would go sometimes.
Yeah, well, Erica's a cradle Catholic, but she ended up kind of like me. I grew up Catholic and First Communion and went to Catholic high school. But then
This is really serious.
Conservative infighting about Israel. I want to look at that.
Our last conversation.
It could be anything that was kind of hard, foreign policy.
One of our last conversations, he brought that up. He said, Alex, I'm really worried. Like, this is really serious, isn't it? The infighting and the splitting of the movement. This is really a problem.
I didn't pay for the special seat. I don't think there was even an option to pay for. Was there? I don't even know. I don't think there was an option to pay for VIP seats or anything. I was invited by Andrew, actually. Here, Andrew himself.
This guy.
Yeah, this guy. I sent him a message saying, hey, I'm really sorry about what happened. How are you doing? And then he just said, come to the memorial service. I was like, okay. So he sent me a VIP invite, so that's how I got there.
Imagine that. They invited a Turk.
Yeah, yeah.
Interesting times, man.
The infighting and the splitting of the movement. This.
Yeah, yeah.
This is really a problem. And I said, yeah, but then I don't know, one of us got pulled away or whatever. We literally only said that. So I didn't get to hear more of his thoughts on that. But what was he telling you behind the scenes?
It's interesting because there's been a lot of people who don't know what they're talking about, saying a lot of things about this issue. And
who might that be?
On the one hand, I love it because you've got the pro-Israel side claiming him and you've got the anti-Israel side claiming him now, which is a posthumous thing. But I think
kind of shows how important he is.
Catholics claiming him and the evangelicals claiming him. And
was he becoming Catholic?
No, but he
Mossad paid you to say that.
Mass. He loved the.
This is actually incredible. How early did you need to get there? I saw that people were showing up at 4. 4
a.m.
I didn't know how early. I should have gone there very, very early. But so I met up with IP. And I do too, by the way. But so I met up with IP at like 7 or something like that, or 7:30, and we started driving together toward the stadium. And I thought because we have VIP access and VIP parking and all that,
they'll have a red carpet out for you guys with the paparazzi taking pictures and stuff. So you'll just stroll on in there, pull your car right up. Valet will take it as you prance on in there. Taking interviews with all the cameras.
But then, as we drive closer to the place, from 10-minute distance, I see the traffic is completely clogged. And everyone is kind of confused where to go. And then we realize, okay, we won't get anywhere near the stadium unless we wait here in traffic for 2 hours. So I said, how about we forget about our VIP parking? And I'll just look for a different place somewhere else. And we parked there and we walked for a while. And IP was like, yeah, that's what we do. So we found some different place, like 30 minutes walking distance. We parked there and we walked for 30 minutes to the stadium. And everything between was full. That's how crazy it was.
Yeah. AP, what you're describing is exactly what you would experience going to a football game in the U.S. So you're going to have to park far away and then do some walking.
Powerful. That's powerful. So I got there at 8 and there was a big mistake.
8 a.m.?
Yeah.
When did things start?
Well, the doors opened apparently, so before that, right, at 8. And then the memorial service started at 11.
Wait. You got there, the thing started at 11. You got there at 8?
Yeah.
And that was still a problem?
Yeah.
Gosh.
Charlie was loved, man. And the stadium got filled up and they had to send thousands of people to a different stadium to watch from there as well, remotely.
Ritual of it. He loved the beauty mass. He loved the ritual of it. Catholic mass. He loved the ritual of it. He loved the beauty of old Catholic churches and the stained glass.
And him and Erica would go sometimes.
Yeah, well, Erica's a cradle Catholic, but she ended up kind of like me. I grew up Catholic and First Communion and went to Catholic high school, but then I ended up becoming a Christian in college through a Protestant church, through a non-denominational kind of more experience. It was actually Presbyterian, and then it was kind of non-denominational. And I think Erica kind of follows that same path. She and I share that.
Also, by the way, I just want to draw attention to, she's posted a photo of her and Charlie and the kids in mass before, and somebody in the comment section said, "Oh, are you guys converting?" And she said, "No, we just like attending sometimes." So she herself had said no.
Yeah,
publicly.
and I think Charlie, one of the things, Charlie really hated worshiping in like a gym, you know, or some sort of kind of blank space that you just turn into church. There's no problem. He didn't have a problem with the act of that. He just didn't prefer it. And he loved, again, the ritual, the ancient, you know, feel of a Catholic mass, and the fact that everybody around the world that was worshiping as Catholic, he loved that. So he had some really big theological hangups with that. You can go check the videos out, him debating with Michael Knowles, you know, in good fun. I mean, they were dear friends, but they loved kind of debating the whole Protestant versus Catholic thing.
So
that is the impression that I got. So Charlie really liked the traditional churches. He really liked Catholicism. He really liked Orthodoxy. He personally told me that as well. That said, he was theologically Protestant, and that's what he was. So there is no need to kind of, you know, rewrite him.
Yeah, it's funny because as they're explaining that, it's kind of like me. Like, as far as whether it's Catholic or Eastern Orthodox, I like the connection to history and the churches and the art and all that kind of stuff. I just don't believe a bunch of the stuff, right? So it's not a matter of I'm going to convert. I can say I like all this stuff, and I find a bunch of these things like attractive and so on, but that doesn't mean I'm about to. Oh, yep. I'm in now.
Powerful. Jingoistic Pig said, "AP, how did you know that Mike Winger wasn't David?" I actually didn't know. I walked up to him. And I was like, "Hey, what the? I didn't know you were coming." And then it turned out it was actually Mike Winger. I thought it was David.
Well, you can always tell, guys, because he kind of keeps it. He keeps spiky hair, and he does it, but he has horns. He has little horns, and that's how you can tell that it's him.
Sean Ridgewell, old churches in the USA, really? Yeah, I mean, under the circumstances, yeah.
There's some old churches that have been around a long time. Even churches that aren't like Catholic, like you'll have Episcopalian old churches and stuff. No, and to be fair, you've got some old big Baptist churches and stuff like that have been around 200 years and stuff.
Yeah, the thing is, David, please never tell European people that there are old churches in America.
They are. We got some of the real super based ones. Some of the OG churches.
You got somebody from who goes to a church that was built in the year 500 something, and you tell them, "Oh, we have old churches." Old, really?
Yeah, but they don't tell you that's been rebuilt like 9 times. And if you want a real OG church, you come to the U.S. where they're still here.
You see,
tensions were rising in the movement. This is not news to anybody. If you are participating in the movement, you see it with your own eyes. You see it on X if you live online like we do. And Charlie was aware of it.
Oh, yeah.
I will say, as far as the rumors go, for donor pressures and all of that, and you can tell me if I'm wrong. Internally, what I noticed was, yes, he was getting pressure about having Tucker speak. There were people angry that we were allowing Tucker to speak. He wanted to double down and said, "I don't care that people are mad. I have tons of different ideologies on this stage, religions, viewpoints within the conservative movement. Everybody's welcome. I want everybody to have a chance to share their ideas." Mm-hmm. And that's the only pressure I know of as far as donor pressure that he ever received recently.
A couple of things that's worth clarifying. You know, and you asked me this earlier, so let me make sure I'd say it. Charlie's position on Israel was very clear. I like them more than I like Hamas. I just wish I was free to criticize Israel and not be labeled an anti-Semite, because I can criticize my own government and not be called anti-American.
Right.
But why do I have more freedom to do, that and not criticize, a foreign government? And he was really upset that there was this sort of clampdown on the freedom of expression, the freedom of ideas, free speech.
And by that, by the way, he means not that he was literally being, that he was
Candace is going to cut this. You see, they're saying he was threatened with death.
That he was prevented from speaking out. What he's saying is that when he says something critical of Israel, then people start complaining about certain things, about him being anti-Israel or anti-Semitic, and he just wanted to be able to be more critical of Israel without being called anything.
And I would bet that the criticism comes more just from pro-Israel Christians. Hey, dude, shut up with this stuff. It's not a good time. There's a war going on, and you've got all these people on college campuses screaming death to Israel and stuff. Don't give them anything that helps them.
Indeed. In fact, if we look here, Israel has division just like America, but as a Jew, I never once thought Charlie was anti-Semitic. As a Jew, I can tell you with 100% certainty that whoever said Charlie Kirk was an anti-Semite is absolutely insane. He's allowed to criticize the Israeli government. Heck, Israelis themselves criticize their own government.
We saw that. They got ticked off at us when you said you're basically... Remember in the restaurant?
I forgot about that.
You had all these waitresses who are like, "Oh, you're YouTubers, you're influencers. Wow. What do you guys talk about?" Like, yeah, we got a problem with Islam and Hamas, and then they're like, "Oh, okay. Here's your food."
And then I said to that waitress, she was like, "Well, I think we're going a bit too far, and I think the Palestinians have a point and all of that." And I said to her, I think Israel should be much harsher. And she was very surprised by that. This is me saying that to an Israeli Jewish.
Oh yeah. Oh, and she said, I always go to the protests and stuff, like protesting her own government and so on. Point is, I mean, you have Israeli Jews in Israel who disagree with their government. Obviously, disagreeing with the Israeli government does not make you an anti-Semite. You know what's interesting? When Candace started posting all this stuff, and I found out there's this meeting and they're all this pressure, being offered $150 million, and it's an intervention. I was just thinking, it's probably people who got ticked off that he had Tucker on there, and he probably had Tucker on anyway because he prefers debating things rather than just like marginalizing people. And I bet he had people who complained to him, "Hey, why are you getting Tucker?" Because if I were friends with him, or I was like part of that, I could see it either way. Like, I can see, no, we are going to have this guy here, and he can state his points. And if someone disagrees with him, you can say you disagree with him. And if we keep disagreeing, we can have debates and so on. I can totally see that. I just think Tucker is he's becoming so deranged, and that he's ultimately going to do more damage than anything he could possibly do good. And so I would be like, dude, this guy, trust me on this. This is not going to end well. He's going to cause massive damage wherever he goes, and you need to get away from this now. And if I said that to him, and it eventually, like Candace heard someone objected, she would say, it's Netanyahu. That's what's going on here. You have people going, this is bad. He's saying some really messed up stuff, and he's in the process of going off the deep end, and he's obviously going off the deep end. This is only going to get worse. You do not want to be connected to him when he gets even worse. And then you've been one of the people who's been propping him up. You don't want to do that. That would be my position. So I could see it either way, but given what I know about Tucker, I would say this guy has all the marks of someone who's going to do massive damage. And I'm not even just talking about Israel. I mean, he's a force of destruction in whatever he is in right now. That would be my position. And so I can see other people getting that same vibe from Tucker and saying, you do not want this dude at your events. So I can see all that, but how would Candace read any of that if she heard there were people putting pressure on Charlie Kirk over Tucker? You see, it's Netanyahu, and he put the pressure on him. Charlie refused to cave, and they killed him.
Powerful. Anyway,
when it came to a foreign government. And I will say this, he felt like he had earned the right as a friend of the Jewish people over the years and all of the things that he had done. He felt like his bona fides in that respect were unassailable and that he should have the freedom to say, hey, it's time to end the war. Hey, it's time to stop the killing. But, you know, when you, with Tucker, for example, yeah, I mean, we took some pushback, we lost some donors. And what's interesting is it wasn't necessarily Jewish donors, although there was, because that's a misconception about Turning Point's funding base, by the way, is, you know, it's not a whole lot of Jewish donors. It's just not. You know, there was always, I saw the comments online like, oh, the Jewish shekels or something like, I mean, it's all this gross stuff. It just wasn't true. And it isn't true. But we did lose, you know, one in particular towards the end that was frustrating. There's this great clip when we were in Myrtle Beach and he got asked if, you know, from somebody in the audience, if he was going to, you know, debate Candace or, you know, disavow Tucker. And Charlie's answer I thought was amazing. I remember he came off stage. He's like, "Do you like that one?" And I was like,
he would always ask that for reassurance.
Yeah. He always loved like, "Did you see that? Did you listen?
Yeah. Do I look good? Was that a good clip? Do you think that'll go viral?"
Yeah. And I remember saying like, "Yeah, I thought it was amazing. It was morally so crystal clear." And he basically said, "I don't appreciate being morally blackmailed." And you know, and every time people would say that to him, he would dig his heels in. It's like, well, maybe Tucker's going to give 2 speeches now at MFest.
Yeah.
Or maybe I'll invite so-and-so.
That was one thing, like Charlie and I.
So there was a clip. Somebody went up and asked Charlie what he thinks about the rampant anti-Jew hatred or anti-Jew stuff that Candace Owens is doing, and asked about Candace Owens. And Charlie actually called the obsession with Jews and the hatred of Jews demonic.
Mm-hmm.
But then he also said that he doesn't like being emotionally blackmailed into dissociating from somebody, and that Candace Owens is still a friend to him. So he said, I might strongly disagree with her, and I have very, very strong disagreements with her on these things, on Israel and some other things. But that doesn't mean that she's no longer a friend. She's still a friend, and I can still, you know, try to correct her and all that. So I wouldn't see any problem with that as well either. You know, if for example, if Candace Owens was my personal friend, and she did say all these things that are completely insane that she does nowadays, I would probably try my best to correct her and to have discussions with her, but I would still keep a friendly relationship with her. That's how it should work. Completely understandable. And I'm pretty sure that's how Charlie was as well.
Oh, and interesting aftermath. After all that, after all the Jewish crackdown and threats, and even after Netanyahu kills, apparently, according to tons of people online, kills Charlie Kirk as a warning not to associate with Tucker, they have Tucker speak at his memorial service.
Powerful.
Isn't that interesting?
Yes. Powerful, powerful, powerful.
I relate to him so much is that him and I both do that where we don't like being told what to do.
Oh, I've noticed that before. By
Yeah, I know. Yeah, Andrew, I'm like, oh, there's so many things that we could talk about. How many times that Andrew and Charlie have had to put out fires for me that I've started. But like, yeah, when I'm told I can't do something, it's like, well, I'm going to do it even harder then. That's just my personality.
Mm-hmm.
Charlie is very much the same way.
I think that's the key. It's like Charlie was a friend of the Jewish people and a friend of Israel. Did he have opinions about the prosecution of the war, about he thought their PR was abysmal, thought they were doing more harm than good in many ways?
I think that. David thinks that. Lots of people think that. I think Israel is doing a horrible job at PR-wise. And this
beyond horrible. And it did not have to be this way. They could have assigned a couple people in Israel to respond to a bunch of the stuff. Like there are certain things where they'd have a difficult time no matter what. Like if you're, you know, people are going to point out, hey, you know, you need to be more careful with this bombing or this or that or something like this. But a lot of the stuff is just idiotic. And it's like, why aren't you responding to this? This is idiotic. How easy would it be to refute the claim that Christians can't walk down the street without getting spit on? How easy would that be to refute? By getting some Christians and having them talk about and putting it, how easy would that be? And they don't do it. It's like you could nip that in the bud before it spreads to millions and millions of people, but they don't.
Is because people were all led to believe that Israel is made up of these super genius Jews who are on top of everything and who are masters of every craft and all that. And it turns out that they are quite regular people who often just really, are not on top of everything, who mess up things. And we went over there and we saw how some of their operations work, and they're not very fantastic. I actually felt quite at home when I was in Israel because everyone was late to every meeting, and I thought, hey, that's exactly like me. I could totally live here, So, yeah, it's just what it is. It is what it is.
It's for their own cause. So all of those things were true, and he was upset that he couldn't express those things freely without all of this pressure coming down on the organization. He has a lot of great Jewish friends, and and some people that maybe some not so good ones, right? But I think it's just a nuanced thing.
Was Charlie offered $150 million from Israel?
As far as I know, no.
I had never heard anything like that. Everyone I've asked has said the same thing.
And by the way, just for what it's worth, it doesn't matter the amount that would have been coming down. We would have said no.
And there's evidence that is true.
Turning Point does not. Charlie would.
He put out a company statement saying, this was tempting for sure, but we're going to say no.
Yeah.
I mean, he was very principled in that way.
He was extremely principled, especially on foreign money. I remember moments we'd be at like an event, and some foreign people would come up and like demand a meeting or try and get a meeting with Charlie, and Charlie would look at me and go, deal with them, get rid of them. Like, just, I don't want to talk to them. So I often had the job of
being the bad guy
and say, I'm so sorry, Charlie's schedule's busy. And, it's unfortunate. We just can't fit you in. Oh, well, here's my card, please. Let's, and I mean, on one occasion when that happened, a couple of years later, those people we saw him in the news and they got arrested, and he texted me. He's like, see, I knew it. My spidey sense could feel it. And Charlie did have a spidey sense for who he could trust and who he couldn't trust. And, in this business, there's a lot of shady people.
David, I take it back. It's okay to talk about superheroes.
All right, then we'll talk about Spider-Man a bunch.
All right, so
and his spidey sense. You know what, AP?
What?
This guy,
Andrew.
You get people give off signals when they're making stuff up or when they're extremely biased or something like this. This guy seems completely legit. Like he's not towing any party lines. He's like giving both sides. Well, there's this, but no, come on.
Hey, CBN News actually invited in an Arab Christian to talk about Israelis and talk about Christians in Israel.
I think I did shows with that guy once.
Yeah. This is funny because this is basically what I'm going to Israel for myself. Because I looked at all the publications and all the stuff that Tucker Carlson does about Christians and all that, and I thought, why is nobody talking to Israeli Christians? And I saw a bunch of Israeli Christians be like, hey, well, how about you ask me? And everyone is ignoring them. And I thought, this is just incredible, man.
Well, you can't interview them because they're going to be covered with spit, according to all the groypers.
So I'm going to go to Israel and just talk to a bunch of Israeli Christians and ask them how many times they got spit on today.
Neighbors are Jews, are Muslim, Christian. So it's quite, it's like from many different backgrounds, from the mosaic of in Israel. And I think this is amazing because
she's a Jew pretending to be a Christian.
She's been paid by Mossad. They're holding her family hostage if she doesn't say these things.
Oh, people really have fantastic imaginations when it comes to Israel. Anyway, let's see. Cursed Bow 7. I shouldn't be surprised, but the ghoulish nature of some of these people is astonishing. True. Al Zut Booty Warrior says, if Osama didn't do it, why did he write a detailed letter on why he did it? Well, it was to fool everybody.
You don't think letters can be faked by Mossad?
Exactly. Rivers Orksy says not invited to the memorial, but says they're the best friends. Hijab's voice. Get the hell out of here.
Get the hell out of here.
That is a funny thing. She wasn't invited. And then she was like, everyone can just get a ticket and go there. So
She's like, I'm going to be hanging out with Kanye. That's what I prefer to do, hang out with Kanye. And then like afterwards, she's like, yep, went to mass and then did something with my kid. And what? Kanye didn't want you over either? Kanye? Wait, I wonder if Kanye's like, oh, hell no. This chick is losing her mind. I can't have her. I can't associate with her anymore. She's going to make me look bad. Too crazy for Kanye now.
Curse Mouse, if US and Israel are so inept that the two biggest dolts on YouTube can expose them, they deserve to be exposed. Eye rolling myself into another dimension. You have a point there.
Yeah, I mean, think about this. I mean, Israel, they came up with this great plan to take down Twin Towers. They managed to get all these explosives and stuff in the building. I mean, tons and tons of explosives to bring all this down. But then they do the huge blunder, sending some Jews across the river to dance while holding a camcorder. Like that. I mean, if you just didn't, people wouldn't have caught on if it weren't for that one little thing. Gosh.
Israel is the Jewish state, the greatest state of all.
Did the Wizard of Oz curtain come from the stories? Yes. Buddy, what could a CIA if a country the size of New Jersey is responsible for all the assassination in history? So which is CIA behind everything or Mossad? CIA is behind Mossad, and Mossad is behind everything.
Yeah, we even found out yesterday that Mossad, working for Israel, assassinated Abraham Lincoln. Found that out in my last live stream.
Yeah.
It was pretty eye-opening.
It's actually called Mossad, so because it's very sad. It makes people sad. Maldo Stampede, if you guys didn't hear, 3 men shot a coach in Texas praying for his team. They have something in common. Might want to look.
Already looked at it. Just haven't had didn't check too much, but yep. All Muslim names. One's named Mahmoud and another guy's like Ahmed or something like that. But yeah, I don't know what the situation is.
There was another thing that I saw earlier, which was in Denmark, they did an IQ test for people above the age of 18. And
someone asked about that.
The lowest IQ people were all named Mohammed and Ahmed. And all
that. Variations. Yeah, it's like six different versions of Muhammad and Ahmed.
It's very
One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 different versions of Muhammad and Ahmed are the lowest on the IQ scale.
That's very racist. Elon says, what's up, Elon? Elon Musk here. To put things in perspective, $150 million in a country like Israel, it's equivalent to $5 billion in the US. Good luck getting that through the budget.
Yeah, that's it. If you had said someone in Israel is willing to pay $1 million to people to go after Tucker or something like that, that would be believable, right? But again, we were there. They showed no inclination to deal with the idea that they're like, this is the most important thing in the world. And instead of just sending in our assassin squad like we always do, we'll just threaten people and offer them $150 million, and somehow Candace Owens is going to find out about it, and Nick Fuentes. Come on, guys, seriously.
James,
who would need $150 million to expose Tucker? Like, he's saying the most deranged stuff. He's going to annoy more and more people are going to expose him, just like they're doing with Candace. And eventually he's going to tick off Milk Bar even more, and Milk Bar will totally wreck him. It's going to be a lot of work because he's extremely popular. Point is, no one needs $150 million to expose a guy who keeps saying completely insane stuff. People are going to do it.
Beast. James K. Guy, David, did you discuss the Danish army study yet?
There was that study because the guy just had the picture of the graph. And so I clicked on it. There is the study, but I can't say I'm interested enough to actually do a ton of research on this.
I am.
I probably won't be looking into that anymore.
I am. Sassy Dan, Tucker is clearly covering up for the furry assassin group. He sleeps with 4 dogs. What more evidence do you need, man? That's true. Tucker's the
And
last.
how do we know Tucker's not a secret furry, and that's why he's covering for them, trying to throw everyone off the trail? Maybe Tucker and Candace Owens are part of a furry group with Andrew Tate that traffics women for profit, and all of this is just to keep people from exposing everything.
Wayne Quigley, AP tagged you on X Free Speech Union. Okay.
AP tag too.
Abraham Harp says, AP, I watched your Visegrad video. While watching, my 3-year-old asked if you were my brother. I said yes. That's very nice. Very, very nice. Lothar said, did the demon buck break Al-Zut Tucker? Yes. Abraham Harp says, the leftists and Islamists have a few things in common, not the least of which is that both lead to their adherents being intellectually Al-Zuted. This is true. Stefan the Pellet, Abu Dawood 4142 is the devil sleeping with Tucker Carlson. What does it say in Abu Dawood 4142? Are you looking it up? It says, the messenger of Allah mentioned bedding and said there should be a bedding for a man, bedding for his wife, and third for a guest, but a fourth for the devil.
That explains the Tucker situation.
Yeah. Escape from Dima. When I was a little girl, I prayed that Jesus wouldn't come back too soon. I was afraid of leaving my pets with no one to look after them. Looks like they got lucky yesterday. Close one. That's cute. It's pretty cute. James K. Guy, David Wood, do you like making Muhammad the butt of your jokes? Of course not in the way the old did.
Yeah, you know what's funny? It's when they were just talking about Charlie and saying he doesn't like being told what to do and doesn't like people trying to control him and so on. That's part of the driving force. You start to criticize Muhammad, and back in the day, I was pretty gentle with it. I'd point out Muhammad and Aisha and stuff, but I wasn't calling him a pedophile or drawing Muhammad cartoons or eating the Quran or any of this stuff. But they try to control you and say, here's how we'll control you. We'll threaten you. And then you're like, okay, well, now I'm going to do it even more. And then they're like, well, we'll threaten your family. And so, okay, well, I'm going to do it even more. And then, you're eventually eating the Quran and doing all this stuff and making Quranagami. And they, then they finally get the point that they're not going to control you.
They're eating the Quran. The Cat Lady, there's a based Christian channel, Nigerian Perspective with Frank
I've been on that
Stephen.
channel.
A small channel. I'm secular Jew. The way he talks about the Bible inspires me. I have heard of that channel before.
I've been on his channel. You should go on one day.
Ash May is Ruby.
Actually, he has a big following.
Ash May said, Ruby forgot God bless America, but remember to condemn Docetism. Nice. Drew Traver said, former KGB Yuri Bezmenov predicted things would get so bad that people would think Ozempic is genociding fat people, but the people are.
But the people are retarded.
Soros said, both of you as well as Charlie inspired me to a great leader and speaker. Inspired me to a great leader and speaker. It also hurts me to pass by the spot I first saw Charlie on my campus.
Yeah, I already mentioned it, guys, but Charlie has a ton of videos out there. So for all you guys who want to do work on campuses and start having discussions on campuses and so on, sit there and watch a bunch of the videos. You won't, guess what? Even Charlie would agree. You do not have to agree with him on everything, but you'll get a good idea for the questions that are coming up on college campuses. Because guess what? Sometimes you'll see a question and that'll be the only time you'll ever hear that question in your entire life. And you'll think, okay, don't have to worry about that again, because it's very rare. If you start seeing the same questions come up over and over again, probably stuff that's going to come up over and over again on college campuses and stuff. And check out Charlie's responses, see how he answers, and wherever you agree with him, that'll help you. And if you disagree, then think about why. And
what the hell is happening?
What?
You don't get to ask those questions. What's wrong with you, Mom? Why are you so scared? You don't get to ask those questions.
This is like horror movie stuff, man.
What's wrong with you, Mom? Why are you so scared?
It's actually pretty good, actually. I am the guy who liked your IP picture from up the nosebleeds. From up on the nosebleeds.
Oh yeah. Do you even know what the nosebleeds is?
Well, no.
That's way high up in the stands. Like you're down close, and then you got the people who are all the way up at the top, like really far away. That's called the nosebleed section.
Oh, the very okay.
Yeah,
Woke up
because you're at a different altitude. They call that the nosebleed section.
I'm the guy who liked your IP picture from up on the nosebleeds. I need to check that. The funny thing is, so I posted a selfie at the event, and also posted a few other things, and then my phone died, and I forgot my power bank.
Good time to forget your power bank, man.
In the
Only
car.
going to the most important thing you're ever going to.
And you weren't allowed to get bags inside there. Everything got kind of messed up. So my phone was dying, and it eventually died, which was a horrible, horrible thing. So I couldn't check what was going on in the world. Woke up at 4:15, finally ended up in line at 6:30, didn't get in until 10. Damn. Andrew Stubblefield, good evening, my fellow Jews. I'm coming back to ETS this year. Are you still down to eat a Carolina Reaper, David? Also, AP, are you coming since you're no longer a silly nihilist? I actually am, as a matter of fact. Wait, I'm not coming to the first one. I'm coming to the other one that is after that. What is that? EPS.
EPS and ETS, man.
Yeah, I'm coming to EPS.
You're going to ETS?
No, maybe, I don't know.
Are you going or not? You're speaking at the Apologetics Conference.
I'm going to that. Yeah.
Yeah. So the EPS, that's a scholarly conference. That, although I'm speaking at that too, that is Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then the Apologetics Conference starts after the scholarly conference. Carolina Reaper. Maybe bring it. I've heard. Here's the thing: as far as the pain, I'm willing to endure limitless pain. I did check, since you said you were going to bring one before. I did check some people's reactions after eating a Carolina Reaper. Some people said they were completely messed up for the next day and couldn't function and so on. So I'll have to see what my schedule is like. If I have a day clear, and just in case, because I'm not good with spicy stuff, so I'm guessing I'm going to get. Put it this way: I ate a jalapeno once, which is probably 1,000 times less hot than a Carolina Reaper, and instantly felt like I had to throw up. So I'm guessing Carolina Reaper would make me sick. But if I'm not doing something on one day, then we can do it the day before. And if I'm just sick all the next day, then I might be able to deal with it. But we'll see.
Weakling. Yeah, we're slim. Good evening, my the noob gamer says, I'm a Catholic and believe in Jesus, that he died for my sins. Does being in different Christian branch affect our salvation, even though we believe in Jesus? I'm Catholic and believe in Jesus, that he died for my sins. Does being in different Christian branches affect our salvation, even though we believe in Jesus? Depends on who you're asking. Because David will say, no, you have to be Protestant, otherwise.
AP will be like, if you're not part of the Eastern Orthodox Church, then you are anathema, and the streets will flow with your blood once I get the power.
I really just appreciate all the different Christian groups, that I want to say that. So I was actually going to post about it. Then I forgot. Alhamdulillah. Annabelle, Avi Yemini was just in Israel getting in arguments with leftists at the protest. There was one couple who said they believe Hamas over Bibi.
I guess there's stupid everywhere, AP.
Yeah.
So Israel isn't this perfect country like you always make it out to be, made up of completely rational, all-based people.
I think I saw him at the airport, actually, when he was on the way to Israel. I saw him in London at the event. Then later, when I was at the airport flying to Poland, I saw him flying to Israel, and we briefly talked. Funny. Big Rig, wait, AP was on time to an event? Of course, man. What are you talking about? Mo the Goat, we need more debate with Tucker and Candace. Both don't debate much. The more both talk, the more nuts they get. They should debate each other. It would be funny. Paul, I think you mixed what Officer Tatum said and what Charlie said. Kenneth doesn't even follow Charlie on Instagram. Still doesn't check 2 days ago. No, Charlie did say that they are friends and stuff. Ari Wasman, what happened to the Muslim cowboy? Can't wait for him to go on Tucker's now show. They can talk about how child marriage is dope and trad. I don't know what happened to him. I have no idea what happened to him. Hyperactive, sorry I'm late. Full support, brothers. Thank you. Thank you for the shekels. Thank you for the shekels. They landed somewhere here. I heard them earlier. Elon Musk says, Douglas Murray said, if you blame Israel instead of all possible Muslim countries for the shooting, the conspiracy you choose says a lot about you. If you blame Israel instead of all possible Muslim countries for the shooting, the conspiracy you choose says a lot about you. DR Bales to be coming to a member. Joseph says, Qatar Carlson is a spy to divide the right. I believe you. Locust of Control says, can you tell David to stop blaming me for everything?
Locust of Control.
Locust. Catholic Light Apologetics. AP, I made a short comedy skit about Islam making no sense. I suspect you may find it enjoyable. Do you have a channel?
Obviously, Catholic Light Apologetics.
What if you just called it Catholic Light Apologetics but didn't do anything on there? Have you ever considered that? Catholic Light Apologetics. We'll check it out. Hyperactive. From 1948, Israel faced Arab armies, survived 67 and 73, and triumphed, fulfilling Tanakh's promise. Though I end all nations where I scattered you, I will not end you. If Allah replaced Israel, why grant them victory? Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Muslims do still refer to Jews as children of Israel. Children, but they don't believe in all the things that the Bible says about Israel because they don't have the Bible. Rick Newton, at this point, even Momo Hijab could debunk Candace. He could. Laurie Shetto says, your Tucker laugh cut has by coincidence the same note progression as a song from the musical Camelot. Thanks. Really? I need to work on this. This could be turned into a good song.
You call the song Tucker's Laugh or Laughing with Tucker. Hey. And what you do is show like the most horrible atrocities in the world and just have Tucker laughing at all of them.
That's really messed up. Overlap. Let's see.
No, put it to a beat. Like that.
I figure that it's difficult to do on this little thing here. We'll figure it out. This will be the big project of this year. All right. Anything else, David?
Nope. We'll be live with young Bob tomorrow.
Hang on. Where's the Tucker laugh now? Tucker laugh. Where are you? Tucker laugh. Stream Deck. Tucker laugh.
Someone said add some reverb, man.
Let's see. Where's the Tucker laugh? Tucker laugh. Tucker laugh. Here it is. Let's add this to here. All right. No, I need to figure out the.
Need a little space in between it, man. And it's you gotta have a beat to it, and it's gotta match the beat. You should send Sal the clip and some lines from Tucker, and I bet he could work them together into an awesome song.
Yeah. Need to work on that a little bit. Don't stretch it. All right, I'm going to work on this. This is very important. We need to figure this out. All right. Anything else, David? No, I do FL Studio, Arcoco Loco. I actually have never tried Ableton. Yeah. All right. Thanks, everybody, for watching. And as always, Stay away from Islam. Hey, wait a minute. I'm not supposed to say that. My goat is supposed to say that. Where's my goat? Okay. In other words,
stay away from Islam.